Namaste, beautiful souls. How are you all doing? Well, it's a special day with a very special guest, and she's going to be joining us soon. So, it's a journey about our inner transformation, and it's about how we started our journey of inner transformation and what happened to us and how we got an abundant mindset. So, it's about basically, it's more about going inside and looking at the results outside. And a lot of time people are always looking at the results outside. They never go and connect with their inner self and then align themselves with their higher self. And my book is out on Amazon.in. It's like got a 4.5-star rating. I am a conscious creator, dream, believe, act, receive. So you must have all heard that, we are a creator, but then with this book, you become a conscious creator. And so it's basically living a life by choice, by design, and not by default. So life should not happen to you, but life should happen through you. So we're going to be having a very special guest coming in. And a little about what my book says. It's about that a person who has reprogrammed his subconscious mind from mediocre mindset to an abundant mindset cannot be stopped. At the same time, a person who has a conditioned mindset cannot see a different result in his or her reality, even if he or she so wishes, as he or she is functioning based on his or her past limiting belief system. Well, our very special guest is here now, so let me get her. So, very interactive evening, and yeah, so I'm just waiting for her to join in. Hi!
Hi.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to, have this session with you, the live session.
Yeah,
And
same
it's
here.
so nice waiting for you.
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing good. So,
Good.
tell me, first of all, tell everybody your name, what your name is, and how you started your journey of inner transformation. Let's get to
Yeah,
know you better.
yeah. So my name is Amy and I am 28 and I'm British, but I'm currently living in Germany. And basically, I have suffered with my mental health for many years, and anxiety and depression held me back from everything I wanted to do. And last year, I went through a complete transformation, and yeah, that was, I realized that my mental health doesn't have to hold me back, and it's not. I'm now living my best life as my best version.
Wow, that's amazing. And so tell me one thing, that what made you realize that you wanted to get into this journey of inner transformation? Like, what was that triggering point in your life that you said enough is enough? Because when we get into this journey of inner transformation, more,
Yeah,
as I said to myself, I said, I'm done. I've had enough. And I now need
yeah,
to see a different result in my life. And I asked God that, God, what is my life? Like, where are we heading? You know?
yeah,
When normally you get into an inner transformation journey, it's about asking these questions to the God and universe that we're done with seeing results outside. It's more about connecting inside and then, aligning yourself with your higher self. So, what was
yeah.
that moment when you totally broke down?
It was around August last year, at the time, because I'm a PhD student, and for the last year, I've been on kind of like a mental health break with my PhD because my depression and my anxiety got so bad that it actually prevented me from even thinking about my PhD. So I completely couldn't even think about it. And in August last year, I had to email my supervisor for my PhD and request like another extension. And that was the time, like to do that, it just hit me. Like, what are you doing? You're letting this mental health, your mental illness, you're letting it control your life. Like, this is going to be how you're going to live your life if you don't do something. And at the time, my mental health coach, Kim Banwell, she was advertising that she had become a coach. And I just went, that's it. And I started working with Kim, and that was the moment. I think it was just what, I have to do something because my life is being controlled by my mental illness. And yeah, it was a
Don't
wake
you
up
agree
moment.
that, right? So, don't you agree, Amy, that when the student is ready, the teacher appears? Like for me, 4 years
Exactly.
back, when in acceptance with where I was. And I knew that to see a different reality, I had to connect
Yeah.
with my inner self and align myself with my higher self. The
Yeah.
journey had to be inward. The journey could
Mhm.
have never been seeing outside results. And when I
Yeah.
was ready, I was introduced to my mentor 4 years back. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of times what happens is that, you find that mentor who resonates with you, who
Yeah.
understands you.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
how was it for you?
It was pretty much like that. I pretty much remember it being the same day that I realized I had to do something. And then Kim Banwell, my coach, she advertised that she was offering coaching. And it kind of just clicked. And I was like, okay, this is, I'm not so much a big believer of like signs or anything. But to me, that was a sign because, she appeared at the exact time that I needed her. And, looking back now, I would not be where I am now if I wouldn't have decided that and started the action with Kim. So, yeah, it really, when I was ready, the sign came, definitely.
So,
Same as you.
right. So the thing is that, a lot of time people don't realize how conditioned they are,
Yeah,
because when a baby is born with a very pure soul. A baby
yeah,
has no preconceived notions. A baby has no assumption in life, right? A baby is born with a very pure soul, but
yeah,
the environment, right? The social cultural environment of the baby
yeah.
conditions the baby. And
Mm-hmm,
as the
totally.
baby becomes like a kid, becomes an adult, they don't even realize that how conditioned they are by their
Mm.
environment and the society. And,
Yeah, yeah.
when it happened to me, like 10 years back, my mom introduced me to gratitude and my
Yeah.
dad introduced me to meditation. But at that
Mm-hmm.
time, it just didn't sound like, I was like, why do I need to have gratitude for everything,
Yeah,
Why do
yeah,
I need to meditate? Because like anyone else, Amy, I was like always, caught up in the day-to-day affairs and the way, you function in life and all,
yeah.
just that busy rat race, always running without realizing where you are. But I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
4 years back, something triggered me that, enough is enough, and I need to be in acceptance of where I am. Because a lot of
Yeah.
time, Amy, people are not in acceptance with where they are. Don't you
That's,
agree?
I totally agree because for me, you're either like, well, in my experience, I was still living in the past, but at the same time, I was constantly waiting for this future self. And what I didn't realize was that I had to work on the present self to be able to leave the past and get to that future self. Like, I was really just stuck in this kind of, oh, I'm still in the past, but I want to live like that. And yeah, I really think the key is accepting the here and now, accepting you as you are, being happy with yourself, self-love. I would say self-love is, be happy with who you are and where you're at. Don't work for that should version. Never work for like, oh, I should be that kind of person. I should be like that. I should be living that kind of life. Like, no, you are okay as you are, accept it, and then you realize, you know what, you're more than okay, you're pretty damn good. Yeah, it was a big moment for me, that
The
was.
thing is that right. So, like basically the power has always been within us. But what happened was that the society conditioned us so much that we
Yeah,
don't even realize that we are more powerful than what we are. Like, for
yeah,
instance, if I ask you, Amy, who are you? Or if I ask somebody else, who are they? If we ask them, who are they? Normally a
yeah,
person would say, this is my name. Now, the
yeah.
name has been given to you by your parents. That
That's
is
very
not what
true.
you do, right?
Yeah,
Also, if you would ask somebody, like, who are you? They will say, okay, I have done this kind of an academic qualification. But then,
yeah,
yet again, that is just what you've done in your life. But you're
yeah,
much more than that, right? You're
yeah,
much more than that. And that much more is revealed to you when you connect
mhm,
with your inner self and align
yeah,
yourself with your higher self. Because as
yeah,
long
yeah,
as you keep on looking at the results outside, you will never connect with who you truly are. And
yeah,
you are the beloved child of God and universe,
mm-hmm,
and you are the child. A lot of time, I've seen that people go to God when they want something. So they're
yeah,
going with asking more, that God give me this or give me that. And
yeah,
the God will reply back and say that you are selfish. You
yeah,
only remember me when you're looking for something, when you're asking for something, right?
yeah,
Why not first of all come to God, and thank each and everything in your life. Have a grateful heart, because when you have a grateful heart, a lot of blessings come in your life, right?
I tell you what, gratitude is key. Like, as soon as you live your life, like practicing gratitude and you're just feeling completely grateful for yourself and everything you have, that is when you feel happy with where you're at. Like, you just, for me, I could not imagine waking up in the morning and not practicing gratitude, because that is really, like, I would say, if I had to say one thing that was key to my transformation, it would have been practicing gratitude. Like, just be grateful for everything you have. Yeah. Gratitude is powerful. Very, very powerful.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think the best thing to do is to make gratitude your attitude. Like, you would understand,
Yes.
same with me. It's been like
Yeah.
4 years. Every morning I get up and I start thanking like my bed, my parents in life, my husband, my son, my mother-in-law, my loved ones, everybody
Yeah.
who's had a very special role to play in my life. I also
Mm-hmm.
thank the roof over my head, because a
Yeah.
lot of people are living on the streets. They don't
Yeah.
have a roof over their head. I
No.
thank
No.
for the food in the fridge. We are
Yeah.
so lucky that we have a roof over our head. We've got
Yeah.
food in the fridge. All that we've got. But the thing
Yeah.
is, we are always wanting more and more and more without
Yeah.
realizing how much we are blessed with in life. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think I completely agree. Like, I really, really completely agree. For me, my whole life improved when I started practicing gratitude. Like, when you even think about my relationship with my boyfriend, it's like every morning, like, I am really, really grateful for him and having him in my life and for all the support and love he gives me. And just thinking every morning, like, oh, I'm so grateful to have him. Then my relationship with him is so much better as well. So it really does play like such a big part in your life. But talking about gratitude as well, it's kind of a tough one, because when you're talking about mental health and mental illnesses, you kind of like, there's this one saying, it's like, don't think that someone else has it worse than you and it invalidates how you're feeling, or you know what I mean. But really, when you start practicing gratitude, it really does put your mental illness into perspective, because there are actually people who have physically worse than you. And then obviously it connects with your mind and your brain and your thoughts. And then you realize, like, I do have it pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't you agree, Amy, that I think to start the journey of inner transformation, a person has to be coming in acceptance with where
Yeah.
the person is. A lot
Yeah.
of time, people are in a denial mode, right?
Yeah.
They're not ready to accept where they are.
Yeah.
And what happens is that their ego comes in. They're like, no,
Yeah.
we're not like that. Why should we change ourselves? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically, till you don't change yourself, your environment will never change. Like, for
No.
instance,
No.
I've been practicing Buddhism for 10 years. And
Yeah.
the Buddhism basis is that when you change, your environment changes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love all of the Buddha quotes. But I completely agree, because I see it as, like, for me, it's like I had glasses on. And I always say I was in like a victim state, and you take the glasses off, and then like you're in this beautiful state, and you're no longer in a victim state, and you see everything clearly and so beautifully. And yeah, so it really is like, when once you change from within, everything externally just changes. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the thing is that all these things make a difference as long as you're committed. A
yeah,
lot of time, we've heard this concept like ask. Now, when you're asking for a particular thing, you're
yeah.
asking because you don't have that thing, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
you have a belief which is coming with your self-limiting beliefs. And
Yeah.
then you're expecting to receive it. You can
Mm-hmm.
never get that. So in fact, I've written a book which is published on Amazon worldwide. And
I have been reading it. I'm on this page. Oh.
wow, I will be answering everything. So this is my book, and it's like, I am a conscious creator. Now,
Yeah.
Amy and everybody listening to us right now, see, everybody talks about I am a creator. But haven't we been a creator all our life? But we've been
Mhm.
a creator with a default mode. We've been a
Yep.
creator based on our self-limiting beliefs, based
Yep.
on our doubts, based on our fear. But when
Mm-hmm.
you read this book, you become a conscious creator. The
Yep.
design
Yep.
process of your hand comes in your hand, right? And
Yep.
I've shown. So Amy, when I was like writing, having the cover book, I wanted to have a cover book which kind of resonates with my book. So it's got a person, meditating here because
Is that your
meditation is
hand?
the basis.
Is it your hand?
No, it's not my hand,
No.
but I love
Okay. I just
my
wanted to
backend team was
know.
working on this. My backend team was working on this. And what
Yeah.
I felt is that the meditation is the basis to start
Yep.
your self-discovery, to,
Yep.
connect with your inner self because you have to meditate. Because
Mm-hmm.
meditation is basically going inside. It's the
Yep. Yep.
inside journey. And the
Yep.
other
Yep.
thing is that, the book says dream. So when you look at dream, you're dreaming your biggest dream,
Yep.
and then you're believing in it with no fears, no doubts, and you're believing in it wholeheartedly. And then you're taking consistent actions, aligned actions, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
receiving it with all your heart and soul, you
I
know?
love it. I completely agree. Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing is, so when you look at the back of the cover, it says
Oh
break the
yeah.
shackles and fly away. So what happens?
Ah.
I've mentioned very clearly in my book that just by reading the book, you'll not become what is mentioned in the book. To bring in the
Yep.
inner transformation, you have to practice what I've mentioned in my book on a daily
Yep.
basis. And
Yep. Yep.
normally it takes about, say, 21 days to form a habit. And we
Yep.
all are habitual beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we all are habitual beings. So you need
Yep.
to practice all this, and then you'll break the shackles and you'll fly away, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
love
so
it.
that's what
Completely
it
love
is.
it. Yeah. Amazing.
So
But I
writer what is
completely.
writing in Amy? He's writing
Pardon?
in great. So the writer
Yeah.
what is writing in great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in this evening. It's so wonderful to have all of you with us. And we are in conversation with Amy. So we both have had our inner transformation journey. And we do realize that the power is within us and is so in everyone, in each one of you. Each one of you are born for greatness and you are a miracle. So we're just talking about our journey, and maybe all of you can, understand in terms of what the takeaways are and what you could learn from us, because we've crossed this journey and we are on the other side now, where
Mm-hmm.
we're getting abundance in every way, we're having an abundant mindset, and we realize that how important it is to love yourself, because when you love yourself, you become a magnet to love, and then you spread love everywhere. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so Amy, yeah. So I just thought
Yeah.
I'll, introduce ourselves to everybody joining in right now. So
Yeah.
yes, yeah,
Love the
right.
book. I have a question for you. Like, what actually inspired you to write everything into a book?
Right. What a beautiful question, Amy. Very nice question. Well, 10 years back, as I told you earlier also, I was a very conditioned person with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like conditioned mindset and self-limiting beliefs and a lot of fears and doubts. And I just felt that my life was all about struggle.
Yeah.
Before I came into this journey, it was like, you can understand, right? Because you've gone through it. You can
Yeah.
resonate with me. So the thing is that, I was like, so when I started my journey of inner transformation, within 2 years, I saw radical changes happening in my life in terms of what this journey is all about. And at that
Yeah.
time, my coach told me that, Amrita, you've learned so much, you've implemented so much. Why not share it with the world? Why
Okay.
not tell them what this journey is all about? And Amy, I'm a next door girl. I'm like a
Yeah.
next door girl. If a next door girl could reprogram her subconscious mind in the theta state, then
Yeah.
anybody can do it.
I,
Anybody.
I completely agree with that. I consider myself like the normal girl, you know, the girl just down the road. If I can do it, everyone can do it, you know. I love that.
And
I love
what's
the,
the dream that now we look back at our life and we smile and we
yeah.
say we're never going back there again. Like it's not
I,
happening.
I said to you the other day, didn't I? You could offer me €1 million right now, and I would not take it if it meant that I have to go back to how I was. No, there's no amount of money in the world I would not go back. Like it's no. Once you're here, you do not want to go back. But actually, that was tested this week. So this week I had a slightly negative situation, and I felt my negative, like intrusive thoughts. And it was a time when I could have easily have just let it consume me. But I was like, no way, I am not letting that affect me. I am going to maintain my positivity, maintain my inner peace. And I did some journaling, I went and meditated, I completely was like, every thought that was coming, I was like, no, no, no. And yeah, I did everything in my power, and it took about 15 minutes to completely get rid of these thoughts. That was it. But once you've got that like inner happiness, you don't want anything to destroy it. Anything and
And
so
basically, the outer world is the reflection of our inner world, because when we have peace and beauty and joy inside, then we see that outside, you know.
Mhm.
But if your inside is not at peace, is miserable from inside, if you're miserable from inside, you'll see misery all around you. So what
Yeah,
you are from inside, you all see that in your environment, in the outside, you know. So
yeah,
people are talking, Amy, a lot about law of attraction these days,
yeah.
right? So what do you think law of attraction is according to you?
So I would say that when I was like in a more negative mindset, I was definitely attracting more negative, toxic people. And I was kind of like, because I was just in that state, I was accepting that kind of energy and behavior. And I was like agreeing with it. And, I didn't realize that it was just being more toxic for me. But then once you're in like this beautiful state, as I call it, then you do attract more positivity. And, everything I see, I take in a positive way. And if I get the tiniest bit of negativity from something, then I kind of, shield wall, Yeah, completely. You
Right.
attract how you feel. Yeah.
Right. That's so
Really.
beautiful, because we all are magnets, and
Mm-hmm.
we attract what we feel, because feeling plays a very crucial role in attracting all that in your life. So
Yep.
basically, what my take on law of attraction is, Amy, that you start with visualization, right?
Yep.
And as Jim Carrey, right? Jim Carrey has
Yeah.
manifested his entire life, you know?
Yeah.
And there is a book in my quote which talks about Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And so I would love to read out that quote from my book. And so just give me 1 second.
Yeah. No problem.
Thank you. So, yeah. Okay. So I was going to read out something. So I'm just going to look for the quote. Just give me 1 second. So how much have you read my book, Rami?
A couple of chapters at the moment. I started reading it at night, but I was really, really enjoying it, but then I get too tired and then I have to put it down. But
Right.
that's not because your book's boring. It's just I start reading it when it's already bedtime. So yeah, but I'm
Right.
really enjoying it so far.
So I want to read out some quotes in terms of like law of attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a quote by Buddha.
Yeah.
All that we are is a result of what we have thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because thought leads to feelings and then it leads to action. So it's all about the thought as such. And I'm looking for there is a quote of Jim Carrey, which is a very nice quote. And I said, I must put this in my book. And so I'm looking for that. And have you started answering all the questions in my book, like in terms of the exercises and there's a lot of
Actually,
interactive things in that?
actually, I was planning to do a big journaling session today and answer some of them, but I didn't have time. But as I was reading it, I went through and was answering in my head. But I really can't wait to sit down and answer them properly with a pen and paper. I'm really excited to
Right.
do that.
Right. So we have so much to share with everyone today. And
Mm-hmm.
so just let me just get that. I'm trying to see where the quote is. You also have that, see where it is, because it's a very nice quote. So I'm just trying to
Yeah,
see that quote. Yeah, I've got it. I love this quote.
brilliant.
Yes. So let's start. So this
Yep.
quote is Jim Carrey quote. I would visualize things coming to me. It would
Mm-hmm.
just make me feel better. Visualization works if you work hard. That's the thing. You
Yep.
can't just visualize and go eat a sandwich. Unquote. So a lot of time, right, people start visualizing, but then their actions are not aligned with their visualization. So
Mm-hmm.
for example, you visualize something, you have to have immense belief in it and then
Yep.
have aligned actions and
Yep.
then receive it.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot just be like you visualize and you believe and you receive. It can never be the case, right? And the law of attraction, last word is action.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
I,
and
I
a lot of people forget that.
I agree 100%. Like, as like I am now a coach, and one of the key things I say is like, you can have all the tools and you can know what you have to do, but if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. You have to take action. Like, I'm not so much like a religious person. I'm getting a bit spiritual now, but yeah, I completely believe that nothing comes to you. Like,
Yes,
you
yes,
have
that's
to put
right.
the action in. You have to do the work. Definitely.
Absolutely. And what do you think about, like, because we can talk about this, we do this for so many years now. I've been doing it for 4 years, you've been doing it for a year.
Yeah.
So what do you think about affirmations? And what do you think the myths people have about affirmations? What is affirmation according to you?
So, affirmation for me, I don't know if there's a proper definition, but for me, it's simply reminding yourself. And that's how I use it. So I use affirmations as reminders. One of my daily affirmations, I call it my mantra, is "You've got this." And like every time I feel slightly anxious, or when I wake up in the morning, I just remind myself, "You've got
Mm-hmm.
this." And that for me, they're reminders for me, definitely. But they're powerful, super powerful. Because once again, like, you're putting that thought into your head, and then it comes back about in your emotion and how you feel more positive and driven. And if you're doing an affirmation like "you are amazing," then you get that sense of like it really helps. Yeah. But I'm
Right.
interested, what's your definition of an affirmation?
Right. So, I've been practicing affirmations, Amy, for about 4 years now. And
Yeah.
see, what I feel is that affirmations are like positive statements. Now,
Oh,
what
nice.
really happens is that, first of all, people have a lot of self-limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, so how you start doing this is that take a piece of paper and write down what
Yeah.
your beliefs are, what your belief
Yeah.
system is, right? And once you've written down your belief system, you need to circle the ones which are your self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
So, for example, it's too difficult, or I can't
Mm-hmm.
do this, or it's
Yeah.
not my cup of tea, or I'm too old,
Yeah.
right? So, like, for example, like in my book also, I have given a couple of examples about, like a statement like, I'm not good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there is about, so you always feel like you're going to be judged. The other
Yeah.
person is going to judge you, right? And then there's another statement about, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough as others, or I failed. So once all of you get my book on Amazon.com, you will get a complete insight about how a mediocre mindset is and how do you transform yourself into an abundant mindset. Having said that, so once you identify your self-limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
then your affirmations come in, right? Now your affirmation, so let's do an affirmation together. Now the
Mm-hmm.
most important thing is, Amy, that the affirmations have to be done in the theta state.
Yeah.
It has,
Yeah.
and theta state is just when you wake up in the morning
Yeah.
and just before going to sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's do some affirmations together for everyone to see how you do it. So let's have this index finger. Let's take
Oh,
these two in.
it's a proper way to do it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing an affirmation to show everybody. So we need to
Okay.
close our eyes. Inhale all the goodness, the positivity, and the abundance coming in our life. Inhale, a deep inhale. Exhale all the negativity, the self-limiting beliefs, the self-sabotaging beliefs, all that which is pulling you down. Now I want you to say, I am, Amy, say along with me, I am
I am
having
having
an abundant
an abundant
mindset.
mindset.
Now I want you to repeat this again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
Amy,
am
repeat
I am having an abundant mindset.
again.
I am having an abundant mindset.
Right. Now, Amy, you can open your eyes now. Now, when you're saying this, the
Mm-hmm.
emotions have to be very, very intensified. It cannot just be words coming out from anyone's mouth, anyone practicing. The words have got power. So, for example, if I would say, I'm having an abundant mindset. Now,
Yeah.
that is not really practice affirmation, right?
No, no.
When you practice affirmation is the words you have to own up to the words. And you
Yeah.
have to believe that this is your reality. This is
Mhm.
you. Now,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example, we can do another affirmation.
yeah.
Please put your left palm on the heart chakra and the right palm on the left palm. And Amy, just close your eyes. And everyone else watching this right now. And inhale all the goodness, the abundance coming in your life, the positivity, then the joy. Exhale all the negativity, the negative toxin, the self limiting beliefs, and self sabotaging beliefs. And now say, I am
I am.
I am, sorry, a magnet
I am a magnet
to love.
to love.
I am a magnet to love.
I am a magnet to love.
I am a magnet to health.
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 I am the beloved child
I am the beloved child
of God and universe.
of God and the universe.
I am very grateful
I am very grateful
for all the abundance in my life
of all the abundance in my life
and all the abundance coming in my life.
and all the abundance coming in my life.
Now you're in oneness with this person, and once you're in oneness, you can open your eyes. So
Yep.
this is how I practice my affirmation. And Amy, I also practice my affirmation in front of the mirror. So when
Yeah.
you go in front of the mirror, yes. So when you go in front of the mirror is a reflection of you. So when you
Yep.
look at the mirror, you're looking back at yourself. So when you're using such powerful words like I am having an abundant mindset, I am a magnet to love, I am
Yep.
a magnet to health, and when you're owning up to it, this is who you become. And this becomes your reality, right? So when you say I'm
Yeah.
having an abundant mindset, then it means abundant mindset in every aspect of your life, be it
Yeah.
personal or professional. When you
Yep.
say I am a magnet to love, you're filling yourself with love from inside. And then when you have love inside, you give love outside. And when you say I'm a magnet to health, then you are attracting all the good health in your life.
Yeah. I
You
love
know?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really will try doing affirmations in the mirror. I've never done that, but I can imagine that it's really a lot more powerful. Like when you're looking at yourself in the eye and you're like, you are amazing. Like, yeah.
Yes. And
That would be
remember one
powerful.
thing, Amy, that all the affirmations have to be in I am. And
Yeah.
for everybody else listening to us, because I am is the most powerful word in the English language. Because
Okay.
the minute you say I am, you
Yeah.
own up to it and it becomes your reality.
Yeah.
Right? But if you use any other words to start with, then it's not your reality. You're saying, okay, you're doing your affirmation, but then you're not owning up to it. Now, when you're doing
Okay.
this kind of affirmation, you're sending a signal to your subconscious mind that yes, I am this person, I
Yeah.
own up to it, and this is my reality.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that.
and
Yeah. I'll
right.
definitely have to remember that.
Yeah, so and you could even say I am enough in whatever I do in my life. A lot
I
of
love that.
time people are doubting themselves. They
Yeah.
feel they're
Yeah.
lacking in something. They don't have a particular thing, right?
I
But you
always,
are enough.
yeah. Yeah. I always say the biggest fear and the basis of most fear of people is that they are not enough. Like if you think of everything, the reason, like the fear of being judged, the fear of, not being good in a relationship or something, it all comes down to I am not enough. And I think that like one of the biggest things you can do is realize that you are actually enough as you are, as we've talked about before, self-acceptance of who you are and where you're at. That for me, that helps with the fear of I'm not enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of
Affirmation.
times we think that the other person is judging us, but that is never the case. Because
No.
even the other person, Even the other person is thinking, what is this person thinking about me? You know, the way we think, what is this person thinking about me? They're thinking the same thing. And
Yeah.
whenever we're thinking like this, it's a reflection of us. You
Yeah.
know, and, you know, a lot of time people judge people. And I
Yeah.
tell people, I said, why do you have to judge anybody in life? You know,
Yeah.
when you judge people, you don't have time to love them.
Mm-mm.
You can't
No.
love when you're judging someone. So
No.
why to be in a judgment mode and why not to be in a loving mode? Love
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Time is limited. You know, we're not here forever,
It's very
right?
true. Very, very true. Yeah. I think with judgment for me, the biggest thing was learning to love myself. Because once I learned to really love myself, I kind of got to that stage where I was like, I don't care what people think about me because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But then I also learned that people actually don't care about me. Like most of the time, I'm thinking, oh, my phone keeps slipping. Most of the time, I'm thinking that people are like judging me, but I guarantee they're not even looking at me. They haven't even noticed me. You know, they don't even care. But yeah, once you really love yourself, then you don't really care about the opinions of others because it does not matter. It really does not matter.
Yeah. The other thing is, Amy, that I also feel that, you know, why not give allowances to people? Like rather
Yeah.
than anybody judging anyone, if they, and a lot of time when people are judging somebody and when they get to know the same person, they say that this is the best person I ever met in my life,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And
Yep.
what happens is that instead of giving judgments like by anybody, we should be actually giving them allowances. You
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
we give them allowance that, okay, we get to know the person to who the person is all about, you
Yeah.
know? And that's really important.
I
And so
completely agree.
what do you think, what do you think your 2020 was all about?
Ah, it was just a year of growth. I mean, up until August, it was pretty much the same. So from January to August, I would just describe it as procrastination. I did nothing. I couldn't do anything. I think I barely left the flat. I couldn't leave the flat. I was supposed to be working on my PhD and I couldn't even think about my PhD. And I was just consumed with very, very negative, intrusive thoughts. And I talked about this on my Instagram, my journey. But yeah, once the realization hit that I had to do something to help myself, it was just a period of growth from then. And you know, I was very fortunate that this happened during the pandemic with the
Mhm.
lockdown. It's one of the things looking back now is I see that it kind of helped me focus on myself because it really like reduced all the external sources around me. So it kind of gave me that time to really be with myself and work on myself. So yeah, 2020 was, I mean, it was a hard year, very, very tough, but it was probably the best year I've ever had. Purely
Right.
because
So Reena Mutlu is writing excellent to us. To both of us, she's saying excellent.
I just want to do a shout out to some of the people that are following that
Yeah.
are here from, you
Yes,
know,
so a
Rain
shout
on
out to
London,
all the
Wine
beautiful people.
Say no
Yeah.
to stigma. Yeah.
Right.
Love
So
you
tell
all.
me one thing.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, you know, Amy, it's so wonderful where we are right now. Like,
I
I
know.
think this journey is the most beautiful journey we could have ever crossed in our life. And this is the journey of life, you know,
Yeah.
and I think life is not complete without the inner transformation journey, you know.
Honestly, I mean, I'm 28 now, I'm nearly 29, but I'm so happy that this happened now because if I wouldn't have took action and made like this even possible, if I wouldn't have realized this power that was within me and transformed, I could be 10 years down the line and still be in the same place I was. And like that scares the hell out of me. Like now I have a life, I have a future, I have something. I'm so excited for my future, and it's just beginning. You know what I mean? And yeah, everyone has to experience it.
According to me, I think 2020 was a year which nobody could ever imagine their life. It was a very unexpected kind of a year because when we
Yeah,
started 2020, we started with a lot of zest, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of
yeah,
excitement. But as time went by, the pandemic came in and all this happened. And who thought all this is going to happen? So, what I feel, Amy, about this 2020 is that, first of all, I think that we didn't respect nature. We
Yeah.
went against nature. And when you go against nature, the nature goes against you. If you don't value nature, then all this had to happen. The second
Mhm.
thing is that a lot of time people say that I wish I had more time, I wish I had more time. So I think the God and universe heard us and said, now take all the time, now let me see what to do. Do you live
Yeah.
a life based on a victim mode? Do you get impacted with what's happening right now? Or
Yeah.
are you going to be a conscious creator in 2020? And a conscious creator is a person who goes inside, reflects inside, connects with the inner self, and aligns with the higher self,
Yeah.
right? And I made this year as a year which was like an awakening year in every way
Mhm.
possible, right? It was a
That's
chaotic year,
right.
it was like all chaos happening everywhere and everything. But I think
Yeah.
now is actually the time to actually, reflect on 2020 because we're
Yeah.
almost in the third week of January. We need to
Yeah.
reflect in 2020 and imagine the possibilities of 2021, right? And that can happen through a vision board. So, what's
Yeah.
your take on
Yeah.
vision board?
So now that I have done my transformation, 2021, even with the whole pandemic still happening and uncertainty, 2021 is super exciting for me because I know what I'm doing. And I may not be able to control anything that's happening outside, but that's okay because I can control. And 2021 now, obviously, it's the year that I actually will finish my PhD. It's happening. um, and yeah,
Right.
during 2020,
So have you made your vision board?
finally, yeah, my
Have
vision
you made
board.
your vision board?
It's, yeah. I have a vision board. So
Okay.
me and my,
So what are your plans for 2021, Amy? What are your plans?
I think you cut off for a bit actually because you had a little circle thing. But yeah, my plans: finish my PhD, definitely, and I
Active session with Amy, and we both have covered this inner transformation journey. So it's wonderful that we're connecting with all of you. So yeah, Amy, are you there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do I keep freezing because it looks like you keep freezing? Hang on, I'll turn the internet off.
Right. So what are your plans, Amy, for 2021? Yeah, and much better.
Is it your internet or is it mine? So one of us
I
keeps
think we're all
breaking.
good right now. We all are good.
Okay.
You're fine. Can you come in a more connectivity area? Because I think I'm fine, but I think you also fine. Just come in more connectivity area as such. Like more connectivity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gone onto my mobile data now and it's perfectly fine. Should be.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, can you still hear me? No, I can't see any
Yes, I
comments or
can.
anything.
Yes,
Okay,
you're
okay.
audible. Can you come into another room if it's possible, another place where you could sit where there's more connectivity? I'll also try and move if I.
This is the best place.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So, okay. So
Hi.
tell me, what are your plans for 2021?
Yeah, so my plan is definitely to finish my PhD, finally. And me and my boyfriend plan to move to the Netherlands this year. So that's super exciting. And it's like a kind of life vision. So yeah. And I am currently a mental health and mindset coach. And I'm doing this a bit part-time, I would say, doing it as I can. And once my PhD is finished, this is my kind of vision to become a full-time mental health coach to help as many people go through this transformation as possible. Yeah, so
Wow.
2021, I just
And
see it
I
as
feel the same
letting go.
way. Yeah, I can resonate with you, Amy. I feel the same way And
Yeah.
so basically, what I want to do in 2021 is that I'm coming up with a master class and a 4-week intense program. So
Nice.
where I'm going to be having people from all over the world. And it's
Yeah.
basically in terms of having, first of all, a free self-discovery call with them. And then I'm going to be talking about what their pains are and how I can turn
Mhm.
the pain into gain, which is basically
Nice.
about your authentic self. So I'm planning all that right now. But yeah, I
Nice.
think
That's
vision board is
exciting.
so important, right? But I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
that people somewhere give up on their vision board because
Yeah.
they want instant gratification. They want
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
everything
Totally.
happening very fast, right?
Yeah.
And see, even Rome wasn't built overnight, right?
No. No.
And the thing is that visualization is a visioning process, like a daily reminder of our
Yeah.
goals. What we really want to have, our dreams, our
Yeah.
goals, our, what we want to experience, feel, all of that in 2021. And I think
Yeah.
2021 is going to be a great year for all of you because I think if you have a vision board, you know where you're heading. And you'll
Yeah.
always be on high energy levels because if you don't have a vision board, then somewhere down the lane you have a low energy level because you don't know where you're heading,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So once you have a clarity of goal, then everything works out. And I think
Mm-hmm.
along a lot of time, people, what they do is even when they find their images, the images don't resonate with their emotions.
Yeah.
Now, a
Yeah.
vision
Totally
board is
agree.
something that, right? So a vision board is something that your images have to resonate with what you want, right? It just
Mm-hmm.
can't be images from anywhere. The images have to be strongly resonating with you. And
Yeah.
the thing is that basically, I also feel that once you find those images, when you put in the emotions in your vision board, you know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
align your action with the vision board. So that's important, right? What
I
do you think?
completely agree. Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. Like for me at the moment, my life is very much living towards like I live every day for my vision board. I have my life vision. I have my short
Mm-hmm.
term and my long term like goals, I would say, but I have my
Yeah.
ultimate life vision. And every day, this is what keeps me motivated. It's what keeps me driven. It's what keeps me positive and so excited for my future. I have my vision board as my background on my laptop. So every day when I come onto my laptop, I see my vision board. And yeah, you're right that it has to actually mean something to you. Like, I have pictures of my family. I have quotes that I've made myself. Like if from my Instagram, I make my own quotes and stuff. So yeah, everything's really heartfelt. And every time I see it, it's like, yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah.
And same with me. So, Amy, I always keep my vision board right in front of me that I can,
Hmm.
just when I wake up in the morning, I look at the vision board, and just before going to sleep, I look at the
Yeah.
vision board. For
Yeah. Yeah.
me, it's how it is, right? Like you have to look at your vision board all the time, put in a lot of emotions, and then, it's all going to come true as long as we have an immense belief in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what is your take on, like, on self-love?
Self love. Yeah. I don't think I love anything more than I love myself. Self love is that definitely wasn't always the case. Definitely. Self love for me has been super, super powerful, super important. Like the moment that I realized that I actually did love myself, and more importantly, that I was proud of myself, like that's when everything really clicked. Because you can't be positive, in my opinion. You can't have inner peace and happiness if you don't love who you are. Like
Right.
you're never gonna feel that kind of I don't know, you're never gonna feel content, I don't think, if you don't actually love you. And it takes some work, but once it clicks and you realize, oh, I'm a pretty damn good person and I've achieved a lot with everything that I've had to go through, then everything comes like, yeah. Self love for me is key.
Isn't self-love the best love? Like, if you love yourself, then only you can love everybody because if we don't have love inside, how can we love anybody in life? Like, it's not even possible. You
Exactly,
know?
exactly.
And
And
a lot of time people are so caught up, in other people's life that they forget who they are and that they have to love themselves to give
yeah,
love to others,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You say, I love you to everybody in life, but the only person you
Mhm.
don't say I love you to is yourself. So, Amy, there is a very nice exercise I want you to do also, and the people on this also. Let's
Yeah.
do something very nice in terms of the self-love. So, let's
Mm-hmm.
inhale. Let's close our eyes and
Yep.
inhale all the goodness, the positivity, the abundance coming in our life. Exhale all the negativity, the negative toxin, the self-limiting beliefs, the self-sabotaging beliefs. And now I want you to open your eyes and you are in oneness with yourself. Now I want you to say, just say along with me, like put your left palm on your heart chakra and the right palm on your left palm and say, I love you with a lot of intensity. I love you.
I love you.
And say your name. Like, for example, I would say, I love you, Amrita. And I would again inhale all the abundance, exhale all the negativity, and again say, I
Mm-hmm.
love you, Amrita. So I want you to say that to yourself, Amy,
Yep. I love you, Amy.
and believe in these words and fill your heart with all the love that you can.
I love you, Amy.
And
It's
now, Amy, I want you to hug yourself. I want you to be in the moment, and everyone listening to us right now, please hug yourself because you need to embrace yourself. Because the way you are enough, and you are a miracle, and you are born for greatness. And don't let the society decide what you are and what you're not.
true
The
talk.
only person decides is you yourself. And you can
Yeah.
be whatever you want to.
Yeah. I love that. I always give myself a clap on the back.
You know, it's so beautiful, and I do this every day, Amy, in my theta state, and I'm looking, and you know, the best thing is do it in front of the mirror, because when you go in
Mm-hmm.
front of the mirror and then you're looking at yourself and you're doing it, it's I can't even express in words what it means. Like it is so
Yeah.
divine because you're embracing yourself, you're loving yourself, and you're back home to
Yeah.
yourself. You know,
Yeah.
we've been so hard on ourselves all our life. You know, we've been so
Yeah.
hard by what people say to us, what they think about us, that we forget that what we think about ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
what do we feel about ourselves, right? And remember that no one has a right to judge or to decide who you are. They have no right.
Yeah.
The right is given to you or to them by you. So why
Yeah.
would you want to give your power of emotions to somebody else? Why do you want to be so hard on yourself? Why?
Yeah. I completely agree. For me that's like something that I've recently discovered, and it's super super important. Like, I was in a pretty toxic relationship in the past, and I think once for me, again, part of my transformation was coming to realize that it's just me. Like I'm all that matters. I get to choose my life. I get to choose how I feel. Yeah.
You know, and it's so important because, see, the thing is that whatever you think you are, you are. Whatever
Yeah.
you think you're not, you're not. The
Mm-hmm.
choice in your hands. A lot of time, people are trying to put themselves up and put others down.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
you're going to give out, right? What you're going to give out is what you're going to get back. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
see what you're giving out because whatever you're going to give out, it will come back to you. If you
Yeah.
give out love, if you give out love and happiness and joy to others, that is exactly what you're going to get back. And
Yeah.
remember that even if you know you've done a lot for somebody, right? It may not come from that person,
Yeah.
but it's going to come around. It's going to come from somewhere or the other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
it's so a lot of times we say, "Oh my God, like I've done so much for this person, and this person doesn't even realize or doesn't even appreciate or doesn't even give back." Please
Yeah.
remember that if you're giving anything to anybody, give
Yeah.
it with an unconditional heart,
Yeah.
without having any attachments, without having any expectations.
I love that. Yeah. That's a really great reminder actually, because sometimes that's you know, you get caught up in that, I should expect something back, but no. Yeah, I love that. Such a good reminder. I think I definitely needed to hear that. Thank you.
So all these things are very important. And,
Yeah.
whatever you can see in your mind, you can see in reality.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
have to be having an immense belief. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot be like, oh my God, like it hasn't happened, why it hasn't happened? It's been so long. You know how they are, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like people, like, oh my God, like it hasn't happened. When is it going to happen? You have to see, remember one thing, that every day you're sowing the seeds of the
Mm-hmm.
effort you're putting in,
Yeah.
right? For example, a simple thing, right? A acorn, right?
Yeah.
An acorn, when you plant it, right? The oak tree comes out.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
acorn never says, oh, am I going to become an oak tree or am I going to become another tree? The
Yeah.
acorn knows that it is a oak tree. It
I love
doesn't
that.
question itself. It doesn't question itself,
No, no.
right? So as you sow, so shall you reap.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, and your everyday efforts are like your seeds. You're sowing seeds every day. And
Yeah.
even Rome wasn't built overnight. So
No.
how can you expect like a shortcut or like an instant gratification? Hi, faith like gravity. Blessed he's saying in our presence. You are a beautiful soul. All of you are a beautiful soul, and the power is within you, and you are born for miracle. And we have such a beautiful soul who I'm talking to right now, Amy, and she's gone through her inner transformation journey, and she has an abundant mindset, and she's a mindset coach also, like me. And she is doing a lot of good for a lot of people in life. And I felt that, let two mindset coach come and connect with all you beautiful souls. So, yeah. So, Amy, so
Mm-hmm.
basically, people need to understand that, you are sowing the seeds every day
Yeah.
and it will reap.
Yeah,
As you sow,
definitely.
it will reap. And
Yeah.
the acorn never questions that, will I become an oak tree? It is an oak tree.
I love that analogy. I've never thought of it like that, but I absolutely love that analogy because you're right. Like, yeah,
And the other thing is, Amy, that what do you think about fear?
fail.
Fear.
Oh, fear. It's dangerous. I I think that, when you have fear in your life, such as when I was suffering with anxiety,
Hmm.
it can literally control you. And if you let fear control you, it will, and it'll prevent you from doing anything. And I think, like, obviously, in my own transformation, I went from being a person who feared everything, literally everything, to now being a person where I still get these kind of negative thoughts, and I fear something, and I get a little anxious, but now I know it's not real. And that's the difference. For me, fear, it's very much like, it's, again, as we've said before, it's kind of what you believe and how you feel. And, you can have these fears, you can have these little, oh, but, if you strongly believe it enough in yourself and you're content with how you are, and then there's really nothing to fear. I really believe that now. Like, and you're also, if you're in control of, your own emotions, like I am now, and your life and your own decisions, then, you get to kind of decide what you want to do anyway. So, if something does seem a little bit too much for you, don't feel any guilt for saying, "Hmm," you know. So I
And
think fear,
I feel that fear is basically the false evidence appearing real,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And 90% of the time, whatever fears anybody has, they're not even real.
no, no,
And
no,
fear, right? And fear is like an anticipation of the
yeah,
pain you may experience in the future,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It is an anticipation. It's like a doubt. It's like a
mm-hmm.
worry. It is
Yeah,
not even real. And a
yeah,
lot of time, Amy, people like they go away from their fear. They don't want to, face the fear head on. But
yeah,
if you face the fear head on,
yeah,
right, then you will live a limitless life.
yeah,
And
yeah,
each one of us are a limitless being. But what happens is that we become limited and we become confined with our fears,
Yeah.
right? Fear of height, fear of going in an aircraft, fear of water. So
Mhm.
Amy has something very interesting for you and for all the people listening in.
Yeah.
Let's do a meditation in terms of fear, right?
Yeah.
So
Sounds great.
Amy, what I want to do is I want you to take your palm, and everyone else, take your palm on your lap, close your eyes. Now, we're going to be talking about more or less, a lot of people have got a fear about heights. So we'll do a fear on heights meditation. So
Okay.
let's inhale all the goodness, the positivity, the abundance coming in our life. Exhale all the negativity, the negative toxins, the self limiting beliefs, and the self sabotaging beliefs, all that which is pulling you down in life. Inhale goodness, positivity, joy, happiness, the abundance coming in your life. Exhale all the negativity, the negative toxins, the self limiting beliefs, the self sabotaging beliefs. Inhale all the goodness, the positivity, the abundance coming in your life. Exhale all the negativity, the negative toxins, the self limiting beliefs. Now you're going to hear only my voice and no other voice. So, whatever surroundings you're in, you're only hearing me right now. Now imagine that you are on a mountaintop and you are there in your mind's eye on a beautiful mountaintop. You've got lush greenery all around you, beautiful grass, beautiful trees. Feel what you are feeling right now on a mountaintop. The breeze going by, the breeze blowing, beautiful day. It's a clear sky and it's so beautiful. It's so green all around. And you look down, it's got the hills, it's got a river flowing down. It's so beautiful. Feel what you're feeling on a mountaintop. Feel every moment of it, every second of it. Feel the breeze where you are right now on a mountaintop. And come in oneness with this person because this is you and you are standing on a mountaintop and enjoying this beautiful scenery which you're seeing all around you. You have a beautiful smile on your face because it's so scenic and it's so quiet and calm and so beautiful. And it's a clear day. And you're looking up and thanking God that thank you, God, thank you, universe. What a beautiful view you're seeing right now, standing on the mountaintop. It's so pretty. Feel all the emotions you're feeling right now, standing on the mountaintop. Be in the now. You are standing on the mountaintop. And now rub your palms. Feel the joy, the happiness, the beauty you're experiencing right now. It's so beautiful and it's so pretty and it's a clear day. And now put your palms in the eyes. Feel the warmth, the beauty you just experienced right now. And you are so happy and it's so beautiful. Now put the palms in your ears. Feel the happiness, the joy of experiencing what you just experienced right now. And remember what you can see in your mind, you can see in reality. And now you have no fear of the heights because you have experienced the heights in standing in front on the mountaintop. You have experienced it. And now put the palms at the back of your neck, the warmth of it, that you've experienced the joy and the beauty of the nature. And you're so close to nature. Now bring your palms in Namaste and bow down. And now you have no fear of heights because what you see in your mind, you can see in reality. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That was really good. Thank you.
It's so beautiful. And like the way we've removed the fear of like heights, we can do the same thing for the fear of water. So if
Yeah.
somebody is caught the fear of water, the person has to see in the mind's eye that the person is inside. Thank you so much. Thank you. So Anju Sachdev is there,
Yeah.
and she's saying amazing. So to tell you, yeah, she's my mom, and
Ah,
she is the one who introduced me to gratitude 10 years back.
yeah.
And I think my calling hadn't come in life at that time. But yeah, it's like it came in 6 years later, and I thank you, Mom, for joining in this session with me. And
Oh, it's
it's
so cute that your mum's here.
yeah. So anyway, so the thing is that you can remove the fear of the water by
Yeah.
actually imagining in your mind's eye that you're inside the water. And you have to feel that you're in the water and how it is to feel when you're inside the water, you know? And she
Yeah.
sings Steve. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mom. Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. And yeah, so Amy and I have had a similar journey in terms of our inner transformation. And we realize that how blessed we are where we are today. And yeah, so Amy, the thing is that we can remove any fear from our mind as
Yeah.
long as we see it in the mind's eye.
Yeah.
Because whatever we can see in the mind, we can see in reality,
Yeah.
right? And so like a fear of an aircraft, right? Some people have got overseas fear that they can't go in an aircraft, they can't go in the plane. So they have to visualize an exercise where
Yeah.
they are sitting inside the plane, how it is to sit inside the plane, and you are inside the plane has taken off, and how you'd experience when the plane has taken off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to feel it because your feelings will make that fear go away. And you are a limitless being. We all are a limitless being. It's just that we don't realize what these words mean and how powerful they are. And I realized it 4 years back. And so yeah, Mom is writing in. Both of you look so much at peace with yourself. Bless you.
I am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Right. And we can remove any fear because we are meant to live a limitless life.
Yeah.
We are meant to live a life and we are more powerful than what we realize. And if we could just start our day in the theta state with a grateful heart,
Yeah.
right? With a meditation. Now, meditation, see, Amy, we practice meditation for quite some time, so we understand all this. But for a
Mhm.
beginner, it's okay if you've got thoughts going by. Fate like gravity is writing, body is in the plane, spirit in the consciousness. Yes. Right. So, like for example, if a person is a beginner in meditation,
Yeah.
right? Now you will have, first of all, in the initial days, you have to sit straight. The
Yeah.
spine has to be straight, and you have to focus on the breathing. The
Yeah.
most important thing is the breathing. And Amy, a lot of people live their life without realizing that how they're breathing. Because
Mhm.
breathing has got everything to do with our emotions,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, you have to notice when you're angry or upset, your breathing is very different than when you're happy and you're joyful. It's
Very,
it's
very
it's
true.
totally different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, for a person who's meditating, you have to focus on the breathing initially and let the thoughts go by. The
Mm-hmm.
thoughts
Yeah.
are going to come.
Yeah.
And in my
That's,
book also I've mentioned that people think that your mind cannot wander. Only a set of people can practice meditation. Anybody can practice. What do you think?
I completely agree. And like I said to you before, like this meditation is still pretty new to me, but I've been doing it consistently. Like every day I do some meditation, even if it's just for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And now I really feel like well, I'm not a professional, but I think I'm doing it good. At least it helps me really more. And I would say that I get into that inner state of calm and, it feels amazing. And that's how I know that I think I'm doing it good. Yeah, meditation for me, it's even if you don't really get anything from it, I think even just taking the time to be with yourself And that's at the beginning for me, when I was a beginner meditator, it was like it was just so refreshing to like give myself that time to really just be alone with myself. And like, even if that's all you do as a beginner meditator, and you don't worry about getting into any theta state, or you don't worry about your thoughts or anything. I mean, that's a good thing. But just letting yourself have that time, that's, slow down, just be with yourself and experience what you're experiencing, be in the present moment. I think that in itself is powerful.
Yeah, and I think it's like gravity's light writing to us, close the eyes, darkness within mind is blessed space. Yes. And I think it's very beautiful, very nice. And I think it's very important to embrace silence.
Yeah.
As you said so beautifully, that be in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come in the now, because now is eternity. And the mind only understands the past tense and the future tense. And the past tense is what you've learned from your life, you've evolved and grown as a person, and your future is an illusion. So what really matters is the now.
Yeah.
And what we've got is only the now, and now is eternity.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this?
I know that I've said it so many times today that, meditation, gratitude, self-love, everything is key. But when thinking about it, mindfulness and being present is key. Like, if you can have the ability to just be in the present moment and see what you're seeing, hear what you're hearing, just notice your breathing at that time. It's like being at peace. Forget the past, forget the future, you're here now. And for me, that's like a beautiful moment. Like, I go on a lot of walks at the moment, and it's not because I'm like trying to lose weight or I'm trying to exercise more. It's simply because when I'm walking, I go around and I look at everything that I see and I hear everything that I hear, and it's really like, it's grounding me, it's getting me in the present moment. And I use them as mindful walks and gratitude walks as well. Obviously, I appreciate everything that's around me. But yeah, being in the present moment, it's freeing. You get rid of all these thoughts about the past and the future. Yeah, I completely recommend trying that. Like, if you've never done it, like, try it.
It's so beautiful. And the other thing is, Amy, that I think, don't you agree that when you start practicing meditation, like I started 4 years back, you become mindful of everything, which means that even when you're washing your utensils in the house, or you're doing any of the household chores, everything, you are in that moment. You are in that moment of mindfulness.
Yeah.
And earlier, what used to happen to me was, if I was in a particular place, my mind would go in 1,000 directions.
Yeah.
And my dad introduced me to meditation 4 years back. And, I used to be like, Amy, like a headless chicken running everywhere. It was like, totally running here, there, everywhere. But I think all that went away when I started my meditation journey, 4 years back, because you get clarity of everything and you become mindful of everything, and you discover yourself and you start living in the present moment.
I think that's definitely true. That's the whole point of it. Like, for me, I think, like, in the past, before, when I was not at peace with myself, I had so many thoughts from the future, from the past, and then on the other scale of it, I would have so many thoughts, and then at some point I would have no thoughts, and like, I would experience what you say, like, derealization, and like, that's a scary place. But now, like, I don't have the thoughts of past and future. I really, sometimes I can be just like you said, washing the utensils. I can be stood brushing my teeth, and I'm not thinking about what I'm going to be doing in 5 minutes, 5 years, 10 years. I'm literally stood there just brushing my teeth. And it's amazing. Like, you just have this one thing in your head that you're focusing on, and you appreciate the beauty of the moment of brushing your teeth. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? The meditation is about being mindful about everything. Like for me, I love washing utensils whenever my maid doesn't come in, the domestic help. So I love to wash them, like, properly, and I'm in the moment and I'm enjoying it and everything. So I think it just makes you more mindful about everything in life.
Really.
And I always say that, we've got limited time here, right? We've got a limited time.
That's
So
true.
if not now, when? When are we going to realize that, when are people going to realize that they've been conditioned all their life and that they have to move from a mediocre mindset to an abundant mindset?
Yeah.
When are they going to realize that? And a lot of time people live their entire life with that conditioned mindset.
Yeah.
And then it is too late in life to go back in time. And I
Yeah.
think I'm so blessed, and I'm sure you also resonate with me, Amy, that 4 years back, I started my journey of inner transformation. And I really thank God that when I asked Him, I said, God, what is my divine purpose? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? What am I doing? And I did get my answers, because I think as long as we have a will, the way will be shown by God and universe.
Yeah.
The way is going to be shown, right?
Yeah.
So fate like gravity is writing, brushing teeth.
You will never brush your teeth again. I can guarantee you. You appreciate that moment. Yeah. Uh,
So it
yeah.
is so important that people have to realize that they have been conditioned by their social cultural environment, and they have to have an abundant mindset. They have to stop looking at the results outside, stop comparing themselves with others, stop being envious of others, stop, being jealous. And basically, so you're talking about failure, right, Amy? So what is your take on failure? What do you think failure is?
I think it's a lesson. I think failure is a positive thing. I think that anything that helps you grow and learn is a positive. And I've looked back. I have made many mistakes. I've made many failures, and every failure, every mistake, it has made me into the person that I am now.
Right. I also feel that, Amy, what I also feel is that failure is like the first attempt in learning,
It is.
right? And yeah, so fate like gravity is writing brush, floss, brush, meditate, repeat. When you start meditation, you become mindful of everything. Even when you're brushing, it's about being in the moment. That's what Amy was talking about, to be in the moment, the now. And Amy's just going to come back with us. It's just, I think, a little connectivity problem. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna get Amy back, so just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm just getting Amy back because I think something went wrong. Right, let her come back. She's going to be joining us back. So basically, failure is first attempt in learning. And the more challenges you get in life, the more you become stronger with time. And remember, a failure is when you stop giving up, like when you stop doing things in life, so you never should give up on anything. Just keep on doing and doing and doing, and you will get success. And just give me 1 second. Let me just get Amy back. Right. I think she's going to just come back. So, yeah. So, basically, we need to understand that when you celebrate, oh, yeah, she's back. Right. So, she's just coming back. Just give us a second. We're just joining back. Right. So, she's just going to join us back. So, basically, when you celebrate success of others, then success comes to you. A lot of time, you're being envious or jealous of the people who are successful. And you keep on saying to yourself that, I wish I had a life like that. I wish I had a life like that. But instead of saying that, I wish I had a life like that, if you could celebrate their success, then you will get success. Because success becomes your best friend when you start celebrating others. So, what I believe in is, when I meditate and I pray, I always say that I am the smile and the happiness and the joy that I want to see in the world. Great, Amy. Back.
I'm sorry, I had to go and brush my teeth. No, I'm joking. No, my phone like completely shut down and crashed. I don't know what was wrong with it. And then Instagram wouldn't work again, and I was like, ah! But I'm back. It's okay. Everything's
It's so good to get you back, and it's such an amazing
yeah.
connect with you. So we don't
Yeah.
only come on lives, we also talk otherwise. Yeah. So, so we were just talking about that when we celebrate other people's success,
Yeah.
then success comes to us.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I always say, Amy, that I am the smile, happiness, and joy that I want to see in the world. I
Yeah.
am the change that I see in the world. When I win, no one has to lose. Like nobody in the world has to lose. And when someone else wins, I celebrate in every success of theirs.
Yeah. I love that. That's so like true and beautiful.
Right.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about how you make your life, right? What do you think about life in totality now that you've gotten the inner transformation? What do you feel?
It's a very interesting question actually, because I have kind of two thoughts about it. So I'm kind of living, I have my life vision, and as much as I try to stay in the present moment, I am consciously acting with intent to get to that, to get to where I want to be. So I'm very like, this is my life vision. I'm doing everything I can possible to get to that stage. But at the same time, I also have this other side of me where I'm kind of living every day as if it's my last. And I don't want to be, like I said before, you don't want to be living for that should be version. Like I'm living today, I'm living each day, I'm making it as good as amazing as I can. I'm happy where I am right now today. If, touch wood, if anything happened to me tomorrow, I'm in a good place. And I could say, like, I've done everything I wanted to do. So each day, I live it with intent to the future, but I also make it a beautiful day in itself. So, yeah.
And I can totally resonate with you, Amy, because I'll tell you, I feel the same that when the end is near, I will have no regrets from this life.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I feel like everything that I'm doing on my Instagram, I get so many messages and people thanking me, saying that I'm helping them, and just that in itself, it's like if I've just helped one person, then I could be so happy.
I totally resonate with you because I'm coming up with my master class, the 4-week intense program, and people have started sending me DMs that Amrita, we're so looking forward to your class. And the kind of, when you come on the Instagram live, the kind of value you share, then your page in itself is like, like a blessing for us. And I feel very blessed when I get these DMs that they're looking forward to my masterclass, a 4-week intense program. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with everybody because, we've been through this journey. We exactly know what we were and what we are and how blessed we are. And we smile back at how life has been today for us.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And I think, like with me, with my mental illness, like my mental health, it's when you suddenly realize that like I went through that pain to be the person that I am now. And now my pain gave me the purpose, and that is like I'm utilizing my pain. I'm utilizing everything that I went through, and I went through that for a reason because of what I can do now. And that to me is everything.
I totally agree with you. And I say, there's a beautiful quote by Oprah also. So basically the gist of the quote by Oprah is that the more you thank things in your life, the more you get them. But if you don't thank things in your life, then you will get less of everything in your life. So there is a quote by Oprah on these lines. And that quote is mentioned in my book. And Fate Like Gravity was talking about it some time back. I saw his message saying, I am a conscious creator.
Yeah.
So we all are conscious creators. And so my Kindle version is free right now because I wanted maximum people to read my book. So
Yeah.
it's free till tomorrow. So I
Oh,
want
okay.
everyone. You have my book, of course.
I
So
have
tell
it. I'm glad I
me,
have it
what are your
now.
takeaways on the book? What would you talk about the book? Like whatever you've read till now, a little bit or whatever. What is it that you feel that you've got from this book?
It's pretty much everything that we talk about. Like the power is within you. I think that for me, from the couple of chapters that I've read, it really is that, you have the power to be your best version. And I love this use that you always use the term best version, because, I see myself now as my best version. There's no other version of me now. This is how I'm going to be. And yeah, for me, from what I've read so far, it's already within you. And you just have to realize how to, yeah. But I'm really, really enjoying it. I really am. It's now become like my bedtime reading. Like 10 minutes before bed, I read a chapter or something, and yeah, I'm loving it. It's really, really good.
Thank you so much. In fact, because so I've dedicated this book to my late grandparents, my
Yeah,
mother's side and my father's side. I've dedicated this book to them, and I've dedicated this book to my late father-in-law, who was in the Air Force, and he was an
yeah,
air commodore. And my grandfather was like from the army background. So I have loved the background in terms of like, the forces, and I've heard stories. I used to hear a lot of stories as a kid from my grandfather, my Nanaji, what you say from the maternal side. And
yeah,
I dedicate my book to them. And I'm sure that they are blessing me from heaven above. And they're
yeah.
always there with me as my guiding angel. And so
Aw.
that's it. So, Amy, what is your take on these angel numbers we keep on hearing all the time?
That is the first I've heard of it. Maybe I really do need to leave the house a bit. So what are these angel numbers?
Right. So right? So when you cover your journey of inner transformation, you come in a high vibration, right? So
Yeah.
where we are right now is in a very high vibration, right?
Hmm.
Now, there is a divine law which says that the angels will never come and communicate with you directly. They're going to
Mm.
send you signs through
Yeah.
repetitive numbers, right? So,
Mm.
yeah. So when I started seeing these numbers in my journey of 3 years,
Yeah.
I went to, in fact, I told my mother the other day, I said, Mom, I'm seeing these angel numbers, right? And she's like, what does angel number mean? Like anybody else. Now, these numbers are signs by the angels that what messages they want to give you. Like, for example,
Yeah.
if you see 11, 11
Yeah.
like a double one or a triple one or a
Mhm.
double one, it is a
Yeah.
manifestation number. It literally means that the angels are ringing the bell in your like the doorbell in your house, and they're saying that please wake up if you've got negative thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever you're seeing will get manifested in your reality. So if it's like positive thoughts, positive things will happen. But if there are those negative thoughts, then negative things will happen in your life. So the
Yeah.
angels are coming and telling you that please be cautious of what you're thinking, because it's all going to come true. Right. And a lot of
I
time
see.
people are doing these days like 1111. A lot of people come and tell me, they are, in fact, on my Instagram live session, they ask me, Amrita, what is a 1818? What is a 1515? So I tell them sometimes, if you look at my IGTV
Mm.
video, I've explained
Yeah.
about the numbers there. So every
Okay.
number has a relevance,
Okay.
right? And these numbers, you can't see them intently. You can't just pick up a phone and say, now I'm going to see 1111.
No, no,
You can't do that.
yeah, yeah,
It has to be like randomly happening to you. It has to be like everywhere. So when it started happened to me about 3 years back, I was like, what are these numbers? Why am I seeing them again and again and again? And I realized that they were basically, and then I went and Googled it. So then I got to know that these are the angel numbers which are coming in my life. And Amy, so there is a number called 0000. Now, when it's a
yeah.
0000, you're in oneness with God. And I see this every day. Like I
That's
pick up my
beautiful.
phone and I see a 0000, like, oh my God, like, are you serious? And then like, thank you, God, thank you, universe. I know that you're there. I know your divine presence. I know all of that. And thank you, because almost every day I'm seeing these numbers, like a triple
Yeah.
two. It's like a nurturing number. It'll become reality. So they all have a relevance. Like a 4444 is like fire, air, water, earth. All these four things, all these four elements are in
Yeah.
alignment with you. You
That's
know,
amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely now gonna look out for some kind of signs. Just thinking about it now, I can't think of any time that I've seen. No.
right? Okay. No, fate like gravity is writing 0000. Yes. It's like oneness with God, that God
Yeah.
is there in your life and the universe has your back, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying. I have never noticed that this is happening to me, but I will definitely keep an eye out now. I want to look. I want to see what numbers I'm getting, and then I'll message you.
We're always talking like off the thing, like on the DM bit, we're
Yeah.
like talking and connecting. And it's so wonderful to connect with you. And I think it's
Yeah.
all about collective consciousness. It's about coming together and growing together, evolving and, growing more and more with every day.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's what's more
Yeah.
important. And nature works with grace. Yes, fate like gravity. So yeah. So tell me what
Yeah.
else, like in the sense that, um, okay, so what is your biggest like thing what you would want to share with everybody? What do you want to say in terms of your inner transformation journey? Like, what is that thing what you want to convey to everybody?
Okay, so I think my heart is with mental health and people who are suffering with their mental health. And for me, I just want to say that the feeling, like the feeling where your mental illness no longer controls your life, it's possible. Like, do not think that it's not possible, because it's possible, and you have the power within you to
Yeah.
make it possible. I just want so many people to know that you can be at peace, you can be happy. Yeah.
So true, Fate Like Gravity is writing amazing, Amy. Yes,
Thank
Amy
you
is
so
amazing. And
much.
that's why she's on my Instagram live session. So yeah, and what we went through and what we are today, I think, the only thing I've got is that make gratitude your attitude and just
Yeah.
be in the moment, live the moment.
Yeah.
Time is
Very
limited,
important.
right? We don't know when it's the end of life, but
No.
at least we can go happily that we were here and we lived a life of a conscious creator
Yeah.
and we paid it forward, right?
Yeah.
So my basic thing is my objective in life is to pay it forward to everybody in terms
Yeah.
of what I went through, the pain, the struggle, all that I went through, and what I
Yeah.
turned out to be today. I just thank God and universe. There is the more I say thank you to God and universe, the less I've said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they always say basically we all are connected, right? So you're a reflection of me, and I'm a reflection of you, right?
Yeah.
And you attract only those people who are in your vibration.
Yeah.
It's like, tuning into a radio station. You want to hear English songs, but
Yeah.
then, you are tuning in, but then you don't tune into the right frequency. How will you
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
English song, right?
Yeah.
And it's about tuning into the right frequency, coming in the right vibration. And
Yeah.
I also feel that, Amy, a lot of time people are having a push and pull mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a push mechanism is that basically you're pushing yourself towards your goals and dreams. But then on the same hand, you're pulling yourself back because of your
Yeah.
fear, your doubts, your self-limiting beliefs. And that
Yeah.
friction is
Okay.
going on in people's life. That
Yeah.
friction of push and pull. So whatever you're pushing forward, you're pulling it back.
Yeah.
What if we did not pull ourselves back? What if we kept on doing our work every day and then getting all that we want? What if we didn't have the self limiting beliefs? What if we didn't have any fears? What if we didn't have any doubts? How would life be?
Beautiful.
Right. And that's exactly where we are today.
Yeah.
People need to question themselves, what if all this was not there? How would my life be? And so, Amy, do you have a paper and pen?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to take 2 minutes, and everyone listening to us right now, I want you to write a letter. Your future self is writing a letter to you. So I want you to imagine, Amy, 6 months from now, where you're going to be, and just write down a letter to yourself, to your present self, in the present tense, as if you've accomplished it. And you've gone ahead in time, you come back, and you put in as much of emotions as possible, because every word has a vibration. So all of you, please write down. I give you 2 minutes. And you could start with, I am thankful and grateful and blessed that I am this person. So you can write down that letter. Whatever you want in your life, all this will come through through this. It's called scripting. Done?
Yeah.
Now, Amy, I want you to read this letter every day in your theta state, just when you wake up in the morning and just before going to sleep. And everybody, please read this every day in the theta state, just when you wake up in the morning and just before going to sleep. And read it out loud for about 21 days and then leave this letter aside. Because
Yeah.
within 21 days, it's going to get instilled in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is going to start going to take actions based on your letter.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're reading this out loud in theta state, you cannot doubt this even for a second, because Amy,
No.
whatever you've written right now in your letter is your reality. So be it.
Yep.
So be it. So be it. So the scripting you've done for yourself is your reality 6 months from now. And I'm going to be talking to you regularly on my DM, but then I'll be talking to you about this
Yeah.
particularly
Yeah.
6 months from now, that what has happened.
I
But
hope
remember,
so. It's gonna happen.
so be it.
Yep. Yep.
Amen. So be it. So be it. So be it.
So be it.
There's a beautiful one now, that Te Sera Sera, whatever will be, will
Oh
be.
yeah.
The
Oh yeah. The
future
beautiful
God
points.
will be. Thank you so much. Thank you. And scripting is very powerful. And
Yeah.
you create your future by writing this letter and then
Yeah.
reading it out in the theta state.
Yeah.
And it all gets instilled in your subconscious mind. You start taking actions, and your
Mm-hmm.
life, you can be all that you want to, everything,
Mm-hmm.
because the abundance somebody else has is just a vibration away, not time away. When you come on that vibration, right, Amy, you
Yeah.
get all that abundance.
Yeah. Totally agree. Brilliant.
And it's been so lovely connecting with you, Amy. It's been so
It's
wonderful.
it has been super amazing, and I've really, really enjoyed it. We definitely have to do this again. Definitely. Really.
Thank you so much. Namaste, beautiful souls. Thank you so much, Amy, for really being here this evening and making
Thank
it
you.
so very special. And all you beautiful souls for making it so special. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you. Means a lot to all of us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I've
And have a
super,
great
super enjoyed it.
and an abundant 2021. And I will
Thank
be
you.
talking to you on the DM, which we always
Yep.
do. Which we always there for each other, all of us. Thank you,
Yeah.
Amy. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you.
much. Have a brilliant evening, everyone. And I'm Lisa. Thank you so, so much.
It's always a pleasure and such a bliss to connect with Amy. She's a very beautiful soul, and it's so nice to connect with her always. And I found a friend in her. It's been quite some time. We do a DM talk also. Sometimes we talk to each other. And thank you, all of you, for this beautiful evening and for making it so very special with each one of yours presence. Remember, the power is within you. You are a miracle. You are born for greatness. So don't limit yourselves. Don't live life based on limitations. Don't let the society decide what you are and what you're not. Because whatever you think you can be, you are that person. Thank you so much. Amrita Mithru, signing off.